All right, welcome back to our class, and we are beginning a two-class series on compromise. So why are we talking about compromise? Well, we talked a little bit last week about how most of your kiddos are in adolescence, and that stage of life is where they're learning to be adults and learning how to navigate the world. And some of the skills that you get to teach them as their primary parent figure is how to interact with other people as a responsible adult. And so in this class and the next class, we're going to talk about how you're going to teach your teen to be able to engage in problem solving with another person. And the way that you're going to do that, the way you're going to teach them how to do that is by engaging in problem solving with them. So for today, we're going to review the rules and steps for compromising, and then we're going to review the homework. Okay, why do we have rules and steps for compromising? It is a very difficult thing to engage in problem solving or compromise. And a lot of times we as humans in our brains, it's easier if we have a framework or certain steps to follow so that we can fall back on that when we're needing a little bit of guidance. Okay, step one is really being clear on your behavior and what you expect from your teenager when the two of you sit down to engage in compromise together. So your behavior as a parent will model what you expect from your teen. And what you expect from your teen and what you're going to model is they are going to remain calm. It is totally okay to take a break in the middle of the conversation if you feel yourself getting frustrated or if you can sense that your teen is getting frustrated. It's a great time to say, let's take a quick break. I'm going to step outside for fresh air or call, my friend or my sister, and then come back to the table ready to be calm and to remain calm. The next sort of rule that you're going to try and model and expect from your teen is to be as objective as possible. So if you're saying something is up for negotiation, that means that you are committed to having an open mind and not making a decision until you hear all the information from your child. You're also committing to be an active listener. That means really trying to understand your teen's emotions and perspective and asking them questions to be sure you understand their perspective. You're expecting your teen, and you're going to model being respectful, staying on the subject, really trying not to get sidetracked, and then focusing on the present. There are probably a number of past hurts that everybody at the table will have, and what you're trying to do is talk about how to move to the future. So step two is where you gather information. You really try and understand each person's point of view about the situation. So you're going to try and understand your teen's perspective and summarize it back to them to be sure you heard correctly. And I will say, you may be surprised how much it means to them to hear you summarize their perspective back to them. And then you can ask your teen if they're able to summarize your perspective back to you. And it would be really wonderful if they are able to, and that would mean that they have been listening. Okay, so step three is where you focus on common interests. So you really try to find a piece of the puzzle that you both agree on. Is it that underneath your different perspectives, you both have a shared core value? Is it that at the surface, there's a specific detail you both agree on? Is it that you're both taking consideration to a third party in your solutions? And it's okay if it's really hard to find something that you both agree on. Typically, you can both agree at the very least that if you can't find a solution, there will likely continue to be friction about the topic. Okay, step four is when you create options. So this is a brainstorm where you're both trying to be judgment-free. Both people share ideas that come to mind without being criticized. And these ideas, they don't even have to be realistic. They're just whatever ideas come to mind. Because then in step five, you're going to evaluate, okay, which options are actually realistic? Are there any options on the list that neither of you can live with? Let's eliminate those immediately. Of the remaining ones, which ones are possible to consider? And can the two of you together identify one option that you're going to try for a trial period of 1 week? And then you write down the agreement. So you write down what you chose to try and when you're going to assess it. So when is the 1 week trial period over? One of the most important things about this whole experience is not even the solution, but it's that you're showing your teenager how to have conversations where they're problem solving with another person. You're helping them build their confidence that they can problem solve with another person. And you're doing that by helping them experience that they can problem solve with you. And so what you're really accomplishing is sitting down with your teen and talking with them in a respectful way about two different points of view. And if you can accomplish that component of this exercise, that alone is a really, really meaningful life skill that you have taught your teen. So, big picture, the steps are 1, remain calm, 2, gather information, 3, focus on common interests, 4, create options, 5, choose a solution, and then 6, write down the agreement and how long the trial period is for. We recommend 1 week. And again, the key takeaway is that you're teaching your teen that they can engage in healthy problem solving with another person. So for homework this week, we're actually not going to have you try to do compromise with your teen or do this exercise with your teen. We're going to have you continue finding positive behaviors to praise more than once a day, continue that positive building with your teen, and schedule a Zoom call with your family guide where you and your family guide are going to practice the steps of compromise with a specific script. And that way, you can have practice and some experience with this framework before we ask you to consider sitting down with your teen and trying it. As always, I want to give huge credit to all of the researchers in the field that have done research on how to support teens who have behavior disorders. And in particular, we draw a lot from the published book, The Parent Management Training, which was written by Alan Kasdan. And thank you for taking some of your really precious time to do this class and to engage with the Family Guide. We really appreciate the opportunity to work with you and your child.